Welcome back to HQ Spotlight. It's been a tale of two quarterbacks in Indianapolis this season. On one hand, fans and the teams were excited to see a fully healthy Anthony Richardson lead the team, but more injuries and more subpar performances along the way have paved the way for Joe Flacco to step in. As you take a look here at their numbers this season, it has certainly been different. Anthony Richardson, 6 touchdowns through 8 games. Joe Flacco, 7 through 3 games. The touchdown to interception rate as well, not good for Anthony Richardson. So the point I'm trying to make here is who is going to play quarterback for the Colts come Sunday against the Dolphins. So to get there, let's bring in our NFL reporter, Aditi Kinkhabwala, who spent a lot of time, you've had a lot of conversations with Joe Flacco this season alone about his exciting run in Indianapolis. But I got to be real here, Aditi. I'm not sure where Shane Steichen is leaning in terms of who is going to start this game and put the Colts in the best situation to win here. So what are you hearing about that quarterback situation?
Well, I'll tell you, our crew has had the Colts 3 weeks in a row, and the first game was against the Steelers when Anthony Richardson did indeed start. Then he got hurt. We saw Joe Flacco the following 2 weeks. But Shane Steichen has been absolutely unequivocal. Anthony Richardson is his starter. He wants Anthony Richardson to get better. He believes the only way that you get better is by actually playing. And let's be honest here, Anthony Richardson is not a young man that has a ton of experience. He didn't play a ton in college. He has not played a lot in the National Football League. 8 starts, only 4 of which he actually has finished. He needs to play. That's what Shane Steichen thinks. Anthony Richardson is indeed the future of this club. The only way he's getting better is if he continues to play. Now, what is it that Anthony Richardson gives the Colts? Well, he is a completely dynamic athlete. When I talked to wide receiver Michael Pittman 3 weeks ago, he said he firmly believes that Anthony Richardson can play the quarterback position differently than it's ever been played. But again, I come back to you, Haley, he's really young. Now, obviously, we've all seen the magic of Joe Flacco. For me personally, the magic post-game interviews have been tremendous. But we saw the magic last year with the Browns. We see it this year. 39 years old, just a veteran. He doesn't overthink anything. He talked to us about how sometimes he just reminds himself, keep it simple. He is always in command. There is never a defense that he hasn't seen. He has the name Joe Cool for a reason. He can do all of those things, but he knows that he is here to be a backup and to be a support to Anthony Richardson. And the Colts are playing the long game here. They're not thinking about who's going to win us more games in the next 3 weeks. They're thinking about their future. And the only way their future is brighter is if Anthony Richardson plays more, according to head coach Shane Steichen.
I loved your post game, I think with Joe a couple weeks ago, where you asked him, have you always been this cool? And he's like, I don't know if I would consider myself cool. But nonetheless, Joe Flacco, 2-1 in his 3 starts in for the injured Anthony Richardson. Let's talk about Cleveland, Aditi, because things have not gone well this year. They will be facing the Bengals on Sunday, 1 o'clock on CBS. And when it comes to the quarterback, that's been the biggest conversation here with Deshaun Watson. The fans are asking for a quarterback change, but Kevin Stefanski has been strong in saying that Watson is the guy who is going to help us be most successful. What is Kevin Stefanski seeing that maybe the fan base, even us here in the media, aren't?
Can I be honest? Can
Please.
I tell you that that is what I'm dying to ask him myself on Friday when we sit in our production meeting? Look, let's be really rational here. There's a lot of money tied up in Anthony Richardson. You don't pay that kind of money. You don't give that kind of guaranteed money to somebody that rides the bench. Clearly, the Browns completely ripped up their offensive staff this offseason. That was an offensive staff that, by the way, took the Browns to the playoffs in Kevin Stefanski's first year, ended their playoff drought behind Baker Mayfield in Pittsburgh before they went and they got Deshaun Watson, and an offensive staff that last year, despite needing to start 5 different quarterbacks, still went to the playoffs. And yet, that offensive staff was ripped up because it was felt that it would be better for Deshaun Watson to go in a different direction. So now you have a new offensive staff. You have 5 different coaches on that offense. You are running a different offense than what has been so successful for you for over the last few years. And Deshaun Watson just lost the man that has been the most reliable and productive receiver that the Browns have had the last few years in Amari Cooper. Of course, Deshaun Watson was not particularly accurate when throwing to Amari Cooper. Kevin Stefanski, again, I'm going to use that word that I use with Shane Steichen, has been unyielding in saying that Deshaun Watson is the Browns starter and that they need to figure it out behind Deshaun Watson. The question now, Haley, is that there are a lot of players that are working really hard that want to see some progress. And at what point do they sit here and say, okay, yes, we are definitely going to continue to turn the page. We are going to go on a run behind this quarterback. And at what point do they turn to their head coach and say, hey, we need to think about the whole team. You need to think about us, not just the quarterback.
Yeah, I saw this stat on Twitter as well. To your point, Aditi, the trade with Amari Cooper, that means backup safety Rodney McLeod is the only Browns player, that includes the offense, to score more than one touchdown this season. So obviously not having him in the mix is going to be tough for Deshaun Watson. But the good news here is that we get Nick Chubb back for the first time since that knee injury. And I loved what we are about to show you guys on social media, the Browns sharing this awesome video of him welcoming back to the media room. Take a listen.
Nick, now that it's so close to being back, what are your emotions like just a couple days before returning to the field?
I feel like I've been feeling for a while now. I'm just ready to get out there with my team, ready to do whatever I can. I feel good.
So to your point, Aditi, about his teammates, obviously they're excited to get Nick Chubb back in the mix, but how much of a boost is this really going to be for the Browns offense?
Look at him trying so hard not to smile. Haley, he's everybody's favorite teammate. And you saw when he destroyed his knee last year against the Steelers, the way that the Steelers were praying over him, which he talked about in his brilliant Players Tribune article this morning, the way that the entire league sent messages, put out tweets, got on social media. Nick Chubb is everybody's favorite teammate. He is everything that is right about football, that is right about sports in general. He is absolutely beloved in the city of Cleveland. One of the loudest cheers we heard all last year was when Nick Chubb came out pregame to do their ceremonial guitar breaking one weekend last year. The house is going to come down when Nick Chubb is introduced out of the tunnel this weekend. So the question is, even more than what he gives you on the field, does he give that team a boost, an emotional boost, a psychological boost? And no matter what, Nick Chubb doesn't do anything but bring every single cell in his body. So everything that I was just talking about with you about potential frustration with other teammates, with other players, Nick Chubb, simply by virtue of being on the field, Nick Chubb doesn't allow players to feel that way, to not give 100%.
Yeah, he's 30 rushing yards away from passing Mike Pruitt for third most rush yards in Browns history, by the way, so we're excited to see him back on the field. Aditi, if we look at the other side of the matchup, you're saying there's a chance for Joe Burrow. Right now, experts are saying there's a 26% chance that this team can get into the postseason. How do they do it?
Joe Burrow, that's it. How do you count out one of the best quarterbacks in the game? And look, this is a different team. T. Higgins is healthy. Jamar Chase is healthy. This defense certainly looked a lot better this past weekend and is righting its ship. I'll get a chance to see them up close this weekend. I'm eager to do that. But I think the cumulative reps of having won big games, which of course we've seen the Bengals do over the last few years, all of that really matters. You can't count out a team that has Joe Burrow. When we talk about the top 5 quarterbacks in the league, he's one of them. And if anything, he's playing better than he ever has. And that's despite the wrist still not being 100%.
Bengals have now won 2 of their last 3. Don't call it a comeback. Aditi, thanks so much for hopping on Spotlight with us.